Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day, because I am. Well, so far. Well, it's Friday, so I'm very happy. Anyway, today I'm going to be filming a current favorites video. Usually I film monthly favorites. I have filmed monthly favorites for a very long time now, and honestly, I decided that I did not want to do that anymore because two main reasons. One reason. The first reason is that I am starting school now. Well, not for the first time, obviously, but I'm going back to school. I'm already back in school. And to be honest, I don't feel an urge to film and put up videos as much simply because it's not on my priority list. And I feel like if I did monthly favorites, I would be doing like a monthly favorites, then one or two videos, and then another monthly favorites, then probably one video, and then another monthly favorites. So it would just be monthly favorites and nothing else, not much room for creativity. And also the other reason is I just feel like with monthly favorites, I'm pressured to go out and buy new things just for the sake of having products in my videos. And I feel like I'm a little bit done with that. I feel like I want to organically try things just because I want to try them, not necessarily because I feel like I have to put something in a video. So that is why I'm doing a current favorites. This is basically all the things that I've been trying, that I've been loving for 2 months pretty much, July and August. So I hope you enjoy this video. I have some new products in here and I also have some old favorites, so this will be a good mix between old and new. So if you want to see what I have to say and show you, then of course keep on watching. I want to talk about this bronzer because I have been using this all the time, pretty much every single day non-stop. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm gonna breeze right through this because this is something that's been talked about a lot and for good reason. I'm wearing it today actually. I wore it today to school, and then when I took off my makeup and redid it for this video, I chose to wear it again because it is pretty much so blendable. It looks like this. It is very blendable. Looks beautiful. It has just the right amount of pigmentation, because I feel like with contour products and bronzers, I don't want like a ton of pigmentation. I want just enough so it will have an effect, but I don't want it to be too much that it will look muddy. For me, this is perfect because it is not too pigmented, it is not pigmented, so when you put it on, it shows up, but it looks like a natural shadow. Like, this is me building it up actually, but in real life, like, this is a little bit intense. But for school, I just take a brush and I dip it in here and I just put it on my face slightly, and that is pretty much my contour for the entire day. Looks super natural and wears really well. Since we're talking about chic things, I decided to include some highlighters as well. This first one is one I already did a video on, so I want to breeze through it very quickly. This is the Dior, what's it called? The Nude Air Luminizer, and this is what I call a luxury makeup product because it is pretty expensive. It was a little bit of a frivolous purchase. I will be the first one to admit that, but I have been using this pretty much not every day, but like whenever, like I think every other day to be honest, because I wanted to just get some use out of it. But this is pretty much like this beautiful highlight, and it is like the most subtle highlight I own. So whenever I wear it, I feel like I don't have to worry too much about having the highlighter wear me instead of wearing the highlighter. Does that make any sense? I think I heard that in a video, but it really got me thinking that even though I love like this intense highlight, I don't really like to wear this like every single day to school, you know? I like to go for something a little bit more natural because I want to be basically looking as natural as possible because it is an everyday look. So having something like this that's very subtle but still has an impact really helps me out. If you are looking for something similar to this, I made a video and I included some highlighters in that video swatched alongside this one, so you don't have to go out and shell out a whole bunch of money to get this product. You can also find a lot of similar highlighters, and I will link that video down below if you're interested in watching it. Moving on, I have something that's a little bit more new. This is actually what I'm wearing today. I decided to wear the Dior one on like on this area, and then just on the top bit, like just on the teeny tiny top of my cheekbone, I decided to amplify it using this highlighter palette from Sleek. I've already featured this in a video. This, I think it was like a tutorial where I did like a really warm smoky eye and then like this really dark lip, and when I was editing the video, I was really like, I was looking at the highlight and I'm like, that is beautiful. I mixed these two colors to create that look in the video, and I was really happy with how it turned out. It is pretty much like almost a white looking highlight on me, so I feel like if you are a little bit darker than me, it will not work out for you that well. But if you have like my skin tone or lighter, then this is such a beautiful palette. It is pressed harder than a lot of my other highlighters. For example, my Becca Champagne Pop highlighter that I love, that one is pressed not as hard, so when you dip a brush into it, you will come out with a lot of product. However, this is pressed a little bit harder, so when I dip a brush into this, I don't come out with as much product. So if you do want it to look super intense, then you do have to build up. However, this is pretty much what it looks like whenever I put it on normally, so as you can see, it is pretty pigmented. I just did a video on this actually. These two products that I'm about to share with you today, I'm wearing both of them on my face right now because I love them so much. I'm wearing a lot of this stuff on my face actually. This is Fenty Beauty and I did a video on this. I believe I put it up before this one, but basically this is the foundation from Fenty Beauty and this is their lip gloss. So the foundation I'm wearing today, I actually decided to put a matte primer underneath just to see how it would work, and so far it's been looking pretty good. But I have been using this pretty much every single day since I got it, and I can tell you that if you have oily skin and if you're looking for a foundation that will sit well on the skin, that will look good, definitely try this out. It's a really beautiful foundation and I talked about this more in the video, but yeah, I love this foundation. I've been wearing it every single day, and will I be buying more of it? Hell yeah. On my lips today, I actually have the Fenty Beauty lip gloss over my favorite lip combination recently, which has been this Colourpop Lip Liner. I usually overline my lips with this, and since this is a super natural and super nude looking shade, this is the shade BFF. This is like super like light nude pink. You can see that's it right there. This is pretty much like my natural lip color. So I overline my lips with this, and since it is so natural looking, it does not look like I overlined at all. It just looks like I have bigger lips. And then on top of that, what I do is I put on this Colourpop lip product. This is in the shade Aquarius. This is, I believe, the ultra matte formula, and this is what its swatch is like. It's very much like a pinky nude. I just put like a swipe of this on my lips, and then on top of that, what I've been doing is I've been using a lip gloss, and this is the one I used today, the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. And this is like a pretty sheer lip gloss, but it does have pigment. You can see right here, and I love it because it's so versatile. You can pretty much wear it with any look, and it's very high shine. You can see that it is super bright. It is super reflective, so if you like that in lip glosses, you might want to check this out. Plus, I like that it's not sticky like whatsoever. It is very comfortable and it fades very nicely, you know, because it can't stay on forever because it is lip gloss, but it fades really nicely, so that's what I like about it. So this is the product from Stila that everyone has been talking about for so long, and for the longest time I put off buying it because I felt like it wasn't really necessary because it was like such a hype product. I didn't really feel like I needed it, but then I bought it and now I'm in love with this. This is a Stila Magnificent Metals eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Molten Midnight. As you probably already know, they have Kitten Karma and they have a lot of like more nudie kind of glittery shades, but this one I felt like was like a very unique shade, and I personally don't really have anything very similar to this, which is why I decided to pick this up, because I do have like a lot of like gold tone glitters that I wear that are kind of similar to some of the other colors that they have that everyone seems to be liking, but I decided to get this one and I'm very happy with what I got. This is pretty much a very super pigmented glittery eyeshadow that looks amazing. Like, let me show you. That is what one swipe looks like. And on the lids, this is beautiful. Plus, Homecoming is coming up, if you already have not had Homecoming. But this, I feel, will be beautiful. Like, even if you don't get this color, if you get like any other color from this line, this will look amazing, like especially underneath all the lights, and you will look like a goddess. So if you like glitter, like even a tiny bit, I can tell you right now, here and now, you will love these eyeshadows. So every now and then you come across a product that is amazing and you wonder why no one is talking about it, and then you conclude it is very underhyped. This is one of those products, and I have two of them. These are the Kat Von D Shade and Light eye quads. Now, if you don't know, Kat Von D came out with a Shade and Light eye palette like a few years ago that everyone loved, including myself. I still have it, I still use it, I still love it. So then later on, think about a year or so ago, like definitely at least 6 months ago, she came out with these quads. So she has 4 of them, and the idea is, let me just open one. They have a lot of similar colors that you can use to create looks with. So this is the Plum quad. So as you can see, these are very beautiful plummy purpley toned colors that you can use alone or you can use in conjunction with other eyeshadows. And then the other one that I have that is my favorite is the Smoke quad, and this is actually the one I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing this color like on my lid, and it is such a beautiful quad. I love these colors a lot. My favorite 3 colors are these. Definitely, they're so beautiful. And what's nice about this is that you don't have to necessarily create like the deep, dark, black, smoky eye with this. You can also use this to create pretty natural looks just by using this color and this color and this color. You don't even have to use this, but I love this for smoking out the eye. It is so pigmented. It is very deep, very black, and very blendable. All these colors are actually pretty blendable. I actually used them in the video that I was mentioning before, and if you saw it, you can see that those are some pretty pigmented, very blendable, very easy to work with shadows. So besides this, they also have the green quad and they have like the warm tone quad, but I decided not to get those because I already have colors very similar to those in my collection. But I decided to get these because I don't really have a lot of matte purple colors that I like as much, and I don't really have a lot of like smoky gray colors that I really use a lot either, so I decided to get these two. So this next thing that I'm going to talk to you about is something that everyone has an opinion on. You probably already know what I'm going to say because everyone has been talking about this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. And this is it right here. I bought this a week ago because I just wanted to form my own opinion on this. Everyone has been talking about this palette for months now, ever since it was released, and I wanted to see what everyone thought of it before I bought it personally, but then I decided to get it anyway because everyone has a very different polarizing opinions on it, and I saw like some reviews and I figured that it's a palette that a lot of people don't like, but I figured that I would like it, and I was right. But before we get into it, let me talk about the palette itself. This is the palette right here. It is marketed as the sister palette to the Modern Renaissance, also from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is what it looks like. You can see that mine is pretty beat up. I have been loving it and using it for a very long time now. Ever since I got it, this is what it looks like when you open it. It has 14 colors in here and they're all very red toned. This was a trend that was very popular about a year ago, and it still kind of is to an extent, but this was a very, very well loved palette. This was, I think, their #1 selling palette. All these colors are beautiful, pigmented, they perform really nicely, and I feel like the company wanted to market the Subculture palette basically as the sister to the Modern Renaissance because they wanted to get like that little bit of boost in sales, because they felt like if people loved the Modern Renaissance, they would love the Subculture. So personally, when I look at these two palettes, I don't see like any kind of resemblance. I don't see why they would have like any valid reason really to call them like sister palettes, because I understand the thought behind it. I understand that this was like the day palette and then this was like the night palette, I guess. But personally, I don't really see much of a resemblance. I just feel like these two palettes have very similar packaging and color number, and that's about it. This palette has 14 colors in it as well, and when I look at this personally, I wanted to get this not necessarily only because of the hype and the conversation around it, but also because the colors in here truly look super, super unique. When I look at palettes on the market right now, I find that a lot of them look very similar to each other. This one, however, I feel like it sits by itself because the colors in here and the combinations are so very unique, and that's what truly attracted me to this palette, because I felt like the colors in here were colors that I personally didn't have and that other palettes didn't have as well. And so that's why I ended up getting it. And with this palette, the #1 thing that everyone has been making a big deal over is the fact that it is so pigmented that it has a ton of fallout. And I understand that because a lot of times people have a specific way of applying their eyeshadow. Some people like to basically take the brush and just swirl it in the eyeshadow and they like to apply it like that. Other people, like myself, like to just tap the color and use that on the lid. So online, what a lot of people have been doing is that they have pretty much been swirling the brush in the pan, and that has of course provided a ton of kickback, and a lot of people have been hating on this palette for that particular reason. So I want to show you how this would look like on the Modern Renaissance if I was swirling my brush and doing pretty much what everyone else has been doing. So I'm going to choose this color, Red Ochre, and I'm going to swirl my brush. And you can see right there, I just got a lot of kickback. Roxy is a color that everyone has been complaining about, and I just swirled my brush in there. So I'm going to carefully try and show you this. This is what these two palettes look like side by side. You can see that I swirled my brush in Roxy and then I did the same to Red Ochre. In my personal opinion and experience, it's about the same when it comes to how much kickback you get. I do admit, however, that Subculture has a little bit more kickback, but the way I apply my shadow is that I pretty much take the brush, whatever brush I'm using, and I like to tap the brush in the pan, like maybe once or twice. I feel like with this palette you need to do it just once and it'll be enough, and then I like to apply it to my face. And as you can see, this is super blendable. It is very like pigmented. This is what you get when you just tap it just a little bit. Let me try and build it up for you. By the way, this shade is called All Star. So look at that. I mean, this is a pretty pigmented, very blendable, very beautiful palette. And I understand that yes, the colors are pretty powdery, but the way I apply my makeup is I like to use a very light hand with the eyeshadows. I like to tap it a little bit and then I like to apply it. Some of the colors in here are more powdery. For me personally, I think that the Dawn color has the most kickback and I have to be a little bit careful when I use that color. But I feel like whenever people use this palette, they have their own way of doing their makeup and that is just fine. But I feel like with this palette, the best way to use it is pretty much by using a very light hand and just gently tapping your brush once or twice into the pan and then applying it. It is very pigmented, blendable. It will look amazing on you. I'm actually wearing this on my eyes today and I really am in love with how this looks on my eyes. But yeah, I mean, that is my personal opinion on this palette. Take it or leave it. So if you are considering getting this, I would definitely get it in store so you have a chance to like try it out and see if you like it or not. Personally, I'll say again, I love it. Whew, that was a very long video. That was a very long talk about this palette actually. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned something new. But thank you so much for watching till the end of this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.